help getting jobs. So they Googled what are good job readiness programs for people in poverty, and that's how they found Cincinnati Works. They just found it by Googling the best program in the country. That's what they came up with. And they researched it and really embraced the philosophy and really liked it. So the interesting piece was, this is about 7 years ago that this was taking place. Well, there was no Wi-Fi in the shelter at the time, and there were no laptops. I was the editor of the Mercury, and they knew one of them knows me and knew who I was, so called me and said, do you have any computers that we could use at the Mercury? So for 5 years, they came across the street to the Mercury, took people from the shelter one night a week into our building. I let them in downstairs, and they would work on our laptops and use our Wi-Fi, and they did job search, resume writing, mock interviews, and helped people get jobs. So that's how, it's kind of an interesting connection.
Right,
that's how
right.
I became involved. And they really embraced it, and really embraced the work, and really embraced the mission, and felt very strongly about it. So then they went out to Cincinnati and sort of explored what it would be to open their own nonprofit, and decided they wanted to do that. So Wendy, the shelter manager here, wrote a grant application to the Salvation Army. Salvation Army gave a startup grant. That was a year and a half ago. At that exact time, I was leaving the Mercury, and so I became involved with them as a volunteer, and then they hired me as the only staff person. And that's how it came here. We say we're a program of the Salvation Army, but we're really,
but you're a separate 501c3.
we're not though. We're not a separate 501c3.
You're not. Okay.
No, and it's a little sticky sometimes because it's the Salvation Army. That's who we are. But we're not. I always say we're not a Salvation Army program that came to Pottstown. We're a Pottstown program that came to the Salvation Army. That's the way I describe it, and I think that's probably the best way. We're not a separate, though. We are. That we never took that. We didn't take that step.
Okay.
Not that we won't at some point in the future, because we might have to grow. But right now we're just here.
Okay.
And we're still our future really isn't determined yet, because it's a 3-year startup grant here. So we don't know where that we don't know where that goes.
But do you do outside fundraising or at all? Okay. So.
Yeah. And then we need to get more aggressive in that. We also have really strong funding support from the Pottstown Area Health and Wellness Foundation. They really like us a lot because they like the mission of helping people in poverty, but they also really like that we serve employers as well, and we try to position ourselves as an economic a tool for businesses in Pottstown, because we will help people find vetted, qualified, interested entry-level employees, which isn't always easy. A place like American Keg, are you familiar with
Sure,
American
I've
Keg?
been to American Keg.
Yeah, so they like us a lot because they say that the employees that we send their way, they know have gotten training and lectures in the importance of showing up, right? And that's, these places, that's their struggle. They have, $11 an hour entry-level employees, and the struggle is people understanding that they need to show up. We send them people to show up. They're very strong supporters of ours.
Yeah, they mentioned you when I was there.
And they've hired several people from us.
Yeah.
And we don't have